Hey guys, this is Ray the Messenger, and in today's video I'm going to talk to you about how you can clear your unfocused mind. But before we get into the video, consider subscribing to my channel. Now let's get right to it. So the first thing I will talk about is how I did it back in the day. So how I brought my mind from unfocused to actually focused on the goals and the things that I want to achieve in my life. So back in the day I was really unfocused, and it was mainly a result of my brain being kind of like in a haze. So I was a bit in a brain fog, in a brain haze, and that didn't have a positive effect on the way how my brain could focus. Because in the end of the day, what is actually focus? Focus is actually your ability to focus on a certain task at hand or on a certain thing that you want to get done and achieve, and then sit down and just do the thing without being interrupted or without having like some kind of mental lapses and mental unclarity. So this was the main thing that it was for me back in the day. So the main issue that I had is I couldn't really sit down straight. I couldn't really do anything straight and for a longer time because I was just so unfocused. It's kind of like you can imagine when you're wearing glasses and the glasses are extremely dirty, you cannot really focus because you can't see nothing. And this is how I felt back in the day. So I felt like, oh, I have no clarity, I have no real vision, right? Not only like vision in seeing the things, but actually no real mental ability to focus. So I had zero focus, I was just living unfocused, I was just sitting around doing nothing. Because when you have no ability to focus, then what is the thing you're doing? You're doing nothing, you're just scattered around, right? You're just scattered around the room, you're not doing anything. And this was me back in the day. So what did I actually do? So where was the point where it all changed from me, where my mind went from unfocused to actually focused? So the main thing that I did that actually helped me was changing my diet and actually starting to work out. As simple as it sounds, and I know you always hear me talking about, oh, you actually need to start working out, you need to take your diet seriously, but this is actually the real thing that is really important. Back in the day when I ate unhealthy things, so when I ate in the morning some chocolate and stuff, and I was drinking Mountain Dew in the morning, right, freezing Mountain Dew in the morning, when I did that I had no focus, because when you drink that stuff and when you eat that shit, that will cloud your mind. The whole sugar will spike up your insulin levels, and your whole day will go to shit. You have no focus whatsoever because you have all that bullshit in the system. You cannot focus. When you're eating that unhealthy stuff, it will take away massive amounts of mental clarity because your body needs to deal with that shit that you put in. The body actually has to digest those things where it's not supposed to digest them. So it has real difficulty digesting these things, and that will take away your energy, and that will take away your focus. You will feel like extremely like lazy and unfocused and unmotivated. Of course, if you just try it right now. If you just eat a big McDonald's menu, of course after that you're going to feel like shit. You're not going to do anything. So you need to take that shit out of your diet and start focusing on the healthy things. Start eating some rice with chicken and broccoli, or maybe if you don't like that, eat some fish if you like fish better, and then maybe just a little bit of pasta but not too much of that, and then just start eating healthy. Eat bananas, eat apples, you start eating the healthy stuff. Don't consume too much stuff with sugar, and especially don't consume like some fast food or some pizza. Don't just late night when you're just sitting there and you're like, I don't want to cook, and then you just go and buy some pizza and then you get the delivery service with the pizza. Don't do that stuff. Have the discipline. Don't do that. It will not help you. It will get you in a worse mood and in a worse way. And every single time you eat those unhealthy foods, you will lose the focus, and that will actually put you back, and you will have less focus. Start eating healthy. And then also another thing that goes hand in hand with the eating healthy, right? It's the working out. You need to start working out, because if your body is unhealthy, then your mind will be unhealthy. That's also the thing that the Greeks knew back in the day. Like even if you read about the Greek philosophers, every single one of them knew how to do some sports. They were all athletic because they understood. They said, if you go and read what they're talking about, they oftentimes talked about, hey, you actually need to have a healthy body, and then you can also have a healthy mind. You cannot have one without the other, and I 100% agree. Of course, can you actually achieve certain goals in your life without being healthy, with being a fat fuck? Yes, you can. But why would you? Why would you make it for yourself harder if you can make it easier by just working out? And for me personally, when I work out 3 times a week, that actually is the magic spot for me. 3 to 4 times a week, maybe sometimes a little bit less, but oftentimes more. And it's like when I do the 3 to 4 times a week, that's the perfect spot for me for working out in a week, because after I do the workout, my energy levels will go up, and then I will have more focus. And it's also training the discipline, because the thing that also goes in with the focus, it's not only the way your brain feels, the way your mind feels, it's also the discipline, right? You need to employ the discipline. If you don't put discipline in, then you cannot be focused. You're always unfocused. If I sit down and I have some kind of work that I want to do, and I just sit there for 5 minutes, and after 5 minutes I'm like, oh, I can't focus, and then I look at my phone. That is not going to help me. Or I watch some YouTube videos. That's not going to help me. That's actually going to take focus away. So you need to start implementing the discipline. You need to be like, you know what, for 1 hour I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to sit here and finish whatever the hell I have to finish. Maybe you're like, you know what, I need to learn for a certain exam that I have in university. Then you know what, sit down and just learn for the exam. Don't play no video games. Don't listen to some bullshit podcast. Don't call your friends randomly in the middle of the day and ask them how they are. That's not important. It's irrelevant. The only thing that is relevant right now for you is to try to focus on the exam that you have at hand, or the project that you have at hand, or whatever the hell you're focused on right now. That is the most important thing. And in order to get that, you need the discipline. And working out is one way how you can start implementing the discipline of your life if you have zero discipline. If you have zero discipline, working out is one of the greatest ways to implement discipline, because it's conditioning your mind to do whatever you tell your mind to and not what the mind wants to. Oftentimes, like when usually I don't want to work out. That's just the reality of the things. Usually I just don't want to work out. I want to stay at home. I don't want to do anything. That's most of the time me. But then I also know that if I go and work out right now, that will actually help me in the long run. It will, in the long run, will benefit me. So what do? I'm like, you know what? I'm going to implement my discipline that I've earned over the years, where I do the things I don't want to do, if I know that these things will actually give me a big benefit in the future. So I'm like, you know what? F it. I'm just going to go and work out today, even though I don't want to. Just this one time. I'm just trying to convince my brain to do it, and then next time I'm going to also do it. Every single time I do that. Every single time I'm like, you know what? I'm going to work out even though I don't want to. Every single time I do that, it 100% gives me more benefits after I've worked out. I feel way better. After I work out, I feel way more focused. I feel way sharper. That massively helps me. That gives me a massive mental edge. And you also need that mental edge. So please start working out if you're not already working out. Start eating healthy. I promise you, if you do these two things, you will get a massive step ahead. For me personally, that's what happened. Get a massive step ahead in whatever you want to do. And then the next thing that also helped me massively is actually knowing what the hell you want to do. Actually having a clear-cut idea of what is the thing that you want to focus on. Because if you're just sitting there, you have no clear idea whatever the hell you're doing, then of course you're going to be unfocused. It's like when you're not knowing what you should do in the exact moment, then you're like, oh, okay, whatever, I'm just going to do whatever, and then you're unfocused again because you have no clear-cut goal. When you write down the goals that you want to achieve and you have a clear idea of the goals, then automatically it's like, now I should do this in order to get closer to my goal. And every single time you're not doing whatever you should be doing, you're getting farther away from the goals, and that is actually the thing that will make it worse for you. And then you will be like, you know what, I actually want to achieve those goals because they're personally important to me, if they're important to you, and then you will start implementing the focus. I think for me, oftentimes the focus is not only a mental thing and something that comes from the body, but it's also a decision that you make. It's a decision where you're like, okay, now I'm going to decide to be focused, and then I'm going to decide to be unfocused. It's a personal decision. It's like you have the control over what you focus on and how strong you focus on. And in order to get that focus, you're going to need to start implementing the discipline and start implementing the health method, the working out, and then you will get the better focus. That actually is what happened for me. So I hope this video was really helpful for you. If you can take two things away from this video: start eating healthier, go work out a little bit more, and then the third thing, have some goals that you want to focus on, and then start implementing the discipline, and then you will get more focus. That is actually what worked for me. So I hope this video was helpful for you, and I wish you a nice day. Until next time, subscribe to my channel, put a like on this video, put a comment on it, and yeah, we'll see each other in the next video. Have a nice day. Goodbye.